think the thing that I struggle with the most when it comes to making YouTube videos or writing songs or creating anything that I'm thinking of sharing with people is this fear that I have that whatever it is I'm gonna make is gonna be bad.
Oh, this is bad.
But bad means a lot of different things to a lot of different people. So I think it's important to define what bad means for me in this specific context. And when I break it down, it's three things. One, making something that makes me look like an amateur. Two, making something that I'm not proud of. And three, we'll get to a little bit later. So in this video, I want to debunk each of these one by one. And by the end, I'm hoping that it's obvious why it's actually a great idea to make a video or really anything that's quote unquote bad. I wanted to give a quick disclaimer while I'm bringing the garbage in here that I am totally aware that good and bad is basically a made-up binary that we use to help categorize people and experiences and projects just so that life is a little bit easier to navigate. Every single language in the history of this planet has had a word for good in the sense of something being desirable and bad in the sense of something being undesirable. But every culture and religion defines good and bad differently. That's why I wanted to give my definition in this context up front so that we're on the same page. Okay, let's dive into that first one, looking like an amateur. Being an amateur is part of being an artist. Ralph Waldo Emerson put it very simply. Every artist was first an amateur. Picasso was once a student. John Mayer, at one time, didn't know how to play guitar. And me, well, I was an 18-year-old college student who thought he could start a vlog.
So what I decided to do, I'm going to record a video for every single day. Not going to post them all, but I'll put them all together and then make a whole week.
I didn't make it past episode 2. But in the last 12 years, there are more than 12 different series that have lived on this channel. I've uploaded over 200 videos to YouTube, and every time I'm starting something new or restarting, I'm an amateur all over again. But the truth is, you could swap out that word, amateur, for stupid or pretentious or really anything negative at all, because what this is really about is placing value on outside opinions, caring what other people think, our perception of someone else's perception of us, which there's really no way of knowing what anyone else is thinking. Plus, whatever they are thinking is rooted in who they are and their own past experiences, which is just to say, it's not about us. But that desire for approval, well, that is about us.
That sounds like a Tracy problem, Tracy.
It's not the same for everyone, but for a lot of us, including me, we don't feel whole or complete just as we are. We crave external validation, and social media has exacerbated this. And there's really no simple fix. It's something that I have to work on continuously in therapy and in my men's group. And over time, I've come to understand the value of putting myself out there, sitting in that discomfort, and knowing that the people who support me are the ones that I want to keep in my life. Eventually, my gauge for what's good and bad will align more with how I feel internally than how I think other people feel. But what if we're not proud of the thing that we've made? Well, I think Ira Glass explains this one perfectly.
All of us who do creative work, we get into it, and we get into it because we have good taste. But it's like there's a gap that for the first couple years that you're making stuff, what you're making isn't so good. It's trying to be good, it has ambition to be good, but it's not quite that good. But your taste, the thing that got you into the game, your taste is still killer. And your taste is good enough that you can tell that what you're making is kind of a disappointment to you. You know what I mean? Like, you can tell that it's still sort of crappy. A lot of people never get past that phase. A lot of people at that point, they quit. Most everybody I know who does interesting creative work, they went through a phase of years where they had really good taste, they could tell what they were making wasn't as good as they wanted it to be. They knew it felt short. It didn't have this special thing that we wanted it to have.
That idea of the gap has always stuck with me, so much so that I made a video about it like 6 years ago. And I still need that reminder today that when I'm starting out on something new, like uploading videos to this channel again, there is going to be a phase where what I'm making is not as good as I want it to be. When I look back on those 200 videos that I mentioned, so many of them make me cringe, which is why you can't find a lot of them now. So how do we get through this phase, past this gap?
do a lot of work, do a huge volume of work, because it's only by actually going through a volume of work that you're actually going to catch up and close that gap.
Well, okay then. I've definitely started that large volume of work he mentioned, and this video, the one you're watching right now, is a piece of that. And I suppose that sharing something that doesn't quite measure up, that I'm maybe not the most proud of, is actually a vital part of this process. But what about that third one? The one I didn't mention earlier? Well, I omitted it because it's actually the scariest of all. We had to take bad to like the most extreme. What is the worst possible thing I could make? And that is nothing at all.
Nothing? Nothing.
See, I am inspired by absolutely everything. And I mean everything. Songs, movies, art, food, sunsets, plants, mugs, bugs. Okay, maybe not bugs, but you understand what I'm saying. I am bursting with creative energy. The thing I love doing the most is having an idea, learning the skills that I need, and then bringing it to life. And the thought of leaving this planet having not made anything is terrifying to me. There is this beautiful speech that Teddy Roosevelt gave that Brene Brown quotes all the time and JFK quotes in this speech from 1961.
The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who knows the great enthusiasms, the great devotions, and spends himself in a worthy cause, who at best, if he wins, knows the thrills of high achievement, and if he fails, at least fails while daring greatly, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who know neither victory nor defeat.
I don't want to be one of those cold and timid souls, so making something bad is most definitely better than not making anything at all.
Yes!
If I'm being totally honest with you, I have spent the last month, more really, working on this video, trying to come up with the perfect title and thumbnail and write a clever script, just paralyzed by the fear that what I'm working on is bad. I think it was Mark Twain that said the secret to getting ahead is getting started. And maybe it is as simple as that. You know, we have to start somewhere. When we're learning to walk, we have to fall. There's no magic elevator that takes us from level 1 to level 20. I mean, that is what elevators do, but you understand what I'm saying. We have to make things that we don't like so that we can make things that we do like. Every time that we hit a goal, we're going to set a new one. So maybe let's just enjoy where we're at. We really soak in being a beginner. Bathe in the badness. I am sitting here editing this video, almost done, and I just wanted to say thanks for watching. If you genuinely liked this video, hitting the like button will not as much validate me as it will help the algorithm serve this to more people that it thinks might like it also. So if you think it deserves to be seen, that's a great way of showing it. This channel has a little more than 2,000 subscribers right now, so if you're one of those people, I would love to know when you hopped on board, and if you're newly subscribed, please let me know so that I can say thank you. I don't know what this channel could, will, might become, but for today, I'm just excited to share this one, and grateful that you stuck around and watched it. So thanks again, and I'll see you in the next one.